Okay, so we're going to talk about what is average. So the term average is used so often that you may be surprised that it does not always have the same meaning. So measures of center in a distribution, we're going to talk about the mean, which is most commonly called the average value. And it's found as the follows, as what we see here. So the mean, which we're going to see a lot of it being referred to as x bar, it's called x bar because there's an x with a bar over top. It's going to be the sum of all of your values divided by the total number of values. The median is the middle value in the sorted data set, or halfway between the two middle values if the number of values is even. So if you're looking to find the median, you're going to arrange the values in ascending or descending order, and then repeating data values that appear more than once. And then if it's an odd number, it'll just be the middle number. But if it's even, you'll take the two middle numbers and add those and divide by 2. And then mode is the most common value or group of values in a data set, so this is the one that happens most often. Median, to remember which one that is, think about if you drive, the median is the middle of the road, right? So you're looking for the median value. The other thing we'll talk about is rounding rule for statistical calculations. So in general, you're going to express your answers with one more decimal place of precision than you found in the original. So if you have like whole numbers, then you'll do 1 decimal place. If you already have 1 decimal, you'll do 2 when you're rounding. That's what you're looking for, okay? And remember, you only round the final answer. Don't round answers in the middle, always at the end. We'll also look at the effects of outliers. So an outlier in a data set is a value that's either much higher or much lower than all the other almost all of the other data values. And one thing you have to worry about is deciding how to deal with outliers. This is one of the more important issues in statistics. So there's another little, hey, this is important in statistics. I'd maybe pay attention to things, just as a reminder, when we're coming up on test 2, watch for those kinds of wordings. So these are one of the more important things. A weighted mean means that you account for variations in the relative importance of data values, and they can be assigned a weight and a mean. So kind of using their frequency that we've done in the past. So it's still going to be the sum of all of it, but we'll take each value, each data value times its weight instead of adding it. Like if I had 3 7s, instead of doing 7 plus 7 plus 7, I can go 7 times 3. It just can make the math a little bit easier. And then, of course, the sum of all the weights. All right, so that gets us through the vocabulary. Let's go apply. So consider the following set of 20 scores on a 100-point exam. I don't think we've seen those at all before. All right, so what we're going to do, that was a little sarcasm, we've done a couple of problems with these. We're going to find the mean, the weighted mean, the median, and the mode for the exam grades. So let's go find our mean to start with. So this is 4.1. This will be example 1. So I'm going to find the mean first. So the mean, I got to add all those up. So the mean will be equal to 76 plus 80 plus 78 plus 76 plus 94 plus 75 plus 98 plus 77 plus 84 plus 88 plus 81 plus 72 plus 91. And then I think I'll bring them down because I don't have enough room to write them all. Plus 72 plus 74 plus 86 plus 79 plus 88 plus 72 plus 75. So let's make sure we have them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So again, it's important that you get them all. And we're going to divide that by the number of data values we have, which is 20. When we add all these up in our calculator, you should get 1616 divided by 20 in our calculator will get us 80.8. So that's our mean, our average of our scores. Now, to do the next part, we want to do the weighted mean. Well, to do the weighted mean, I got to know how many of each of those there are. So I'm going to put them in numerical order again. So 72 happens 3 times, and then 74, 75, 75, 2 76s, a 77, a 78, a 79, an 80, an 81, an 84, an 86. Then we have 2 88s and a 91, a 94, and a 98. All right, so to do our weighted mean, we're going to use the number of times it occurs, the frequency. So I have 3 72s times, so 3 times 72 plus, I have 74, I have 2 75s, and I have 2 76, plus 77, plus 78, plus 79, plus 80, plus 81, plus 84, plus 86. Let's make sure we have them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm like, wait a minute. I remember from up here there were 2 78s. Always make sure you don't leave a data point out. Plus 2 times 88 plus 91 plus 94 plus 98. So we didn't have a lot of these that occurred. We're still going to divide by 20, but we still have all of them. Now it can make a difference if you have like a little bit more of those. So otherwise it's about the same. All right, so we would then put in our calculator instead of just addition. We're going to have 3 times 72 plus 74, plus, got to hit the right sign, 2 times 75, and so forth. So you're just going to put those numbers in just like that with the multiplication, the addition. Your calculator will know to follow the order of operations, and you're still going to get the same value. So it's still going to be 1616 divided by 20. The average is still the same. It's just a different way to calculate it, okay? All right, now we want to do the median. So the median, we had to have the list in order. We have 20 values, right? So to find our median, I'm going to rewrite them. I'm going to try to write them a little bit smaller so I can try and get them all in one line. I don't know that I can. Maybe we can fit them. All right, so they're kind of small, but I've got all of my numbers in a row. Sorry, I wrote at an angle just because of the way I had the paper. All right, so I can count in by ones, and I'm going to get to this point where these are my 2 middle numbers. The other thing I could look at is I have 20 terms. I know I have 20 terms. Half of that is 10, so I could have counted in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gets me there. All right, so those are the 2 numbers. So now we would take 78 plus 79 and divide them by 2 because we have an even number, and we get 80 or 78.5 is our median. And then for the mode is the one that occurs the most, right? So I can look at my list. I can see that I have 3 72s, and if I look, I have a couple of 2s, and I know this also from my weighted mean, right? I had a group of 3, and I had 3 groups of 2, but it's the one that happens the most, so my mode will be 72. Okay, so, and these are a lot of data points to work with. All right, number 2. Randall has 38 credits with a grade of A, 22 credits with a grade of B, and 7 credits with a grade of C. What is his grade point average, or his GPA, based on the GPA of 4 points for an A, 3 points for a B, and 2 points for a C? All right, so for example 2, we're looking at Randall's grades. So we're going to do a weighted mean for this. And we know that he had 38 credits for an A, and an A is worth 4 points. So I have 38 credits for an A worth 4, plus he had 22 credits of a B, and a B is worth 3 points. And then he had 2 points for a C. And of the C's, he had 7 credits. So this is where it's a little bit easier to do the weighted mean than it would be to add 4 38 times, which is this other part of what you could do. Now, total credits that he has 38 plus 22 plus 7. And you could go ahead and add that, but I wanted you to see where I got those values from. So I'm going to step this out so you can see where all the numbers come from. So 38 times 4 would be 152. 22 times 3 is 66. And 7 times 2 is 14, with a total on the bottom of 67 when I add those 3 numbers. So now on the top, when I add those, I get 232. Divided by 67 will get us 3.46. But typically when we look at GPA, we're looking at 1 decimal. And we are doing some rounding here, right? We talked about the rounding rule. All of our values were whole numbers, and so we'll do 1 decimal further than that, and so we'll do 3.5. So his GPA is 3.5. Okay? Alrighty, number 3, effects of outliers. To explore the differences among the mean, median, and mode, imagine that the 5 graduating seniors on a men's college basketball team received the following first-year contract offers to play in the NBA, or the National Basketball Association. And 0 indicates the player did not receive a contract offer. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros and $10 million. All right. So what we want to find is the mean. So we're going to find the mean. So this will be example 3. And we're looking for the mean, and the mean is going to be adding all of those up. And how many total values do we have? We have 4 zeros plus 1 at 10 million, so that's 5. So when we add this, we have 10 million divided by 5 will get us 200,000. All right, so the question is it therefore fair to say that the average senior on this basketball team received a $2 million contract offer. Oh, and I lost a zero in there, so sorry. We'll just add it there and we'll fix our comma. At $2 million. So sorry. So $2 million contract offer. Is that fair to say? We had 4 that got nothing, 1 that got 10 million. So did they average out that? Not really, right? The problem is you have one player that received this large offer and it makes the mean much larger than it otherwise would be. So if we ignore this one player of 10 million, our mean contract offer would actually be 0 because we'd have nothing but zeros divided by 5 is still going to be 0. But that single one right there, that is an outlier. It means it is far away from all the others. And this outlier can pull the mean from 0 up to 2 million. So that's quite a bit. So you have to be very careful about the outlier right there. Okay? All right. Example 4. We want to know, does it make sense? So a survey found that the mean salary for professional soccer players is much higher than the median salary. Does that make sense? So the mean salary, which is the average salary, is much higher than the median salary, which would be the middle. Well, it kind of makes sense because you're going to probably have a few players with high salaries, which are going to be outliers, and those outliers are going to pull up your mean, right? Just like the one that we just looked at, except these are soccer players instead of basketball players. So the mean is going to be higher than your middle number because it's going to be pulled up by those couple of outliers out here. So this is going to make sense. Because we have a few players have very high salaries. And this will make them outliers. And the outliers will will make the mean a higher value. Than the median. Okay? So watch out for those outliers. They will really kind of distort your data and what's going on with those. Alrighty, so let's talk about what you got to do. You've got homework and you have another activity. This is mean, median, and mode. You want to, on the back is your data points. You've got group 1, it's all female shoe sizes. Group 2 is all male. And then you're going to do both groups, female and male. There's some space here for you to do your work. The blanks have a space for your answers. And I want to see the work also involved in finding your mean, median, and mode. These are not in numerical order, so be careful about that. You'll also find it here. And then you've also got some space down here to work this last one. And then once you find all 3, mean, median, and mode, you're going to come out here and you're going to answer some questions. So first one, go find the mean, median, and mode. Second one, you're going to look at it and compare the mean, median, and mode for the groups. And then you're going to answer some questions about why they may be the same or different. And then explain why gender impacts the mean, median, and mode for all of the groups. So what would you notice between the female and male sized feet? Okay, so there's that to do. You're also already working on your project 2. Hopefully you've finished that. If not, you're working towards it. And you'll understand some of that a little bit more as we move forward into the next group of lessons.